Alright, everyone, welcome to the Rewired course. This is the mindset system for high testosterone living. And in this course is a full-scale mental rewiring. It's designed to delete every weakness, excuse, and every program behavior that's been lowering your testosterone and killing your drive. So from the moment you start, we're going to strip out the lies you've been fed since birth, the lies that make you think comfort is happiness, that masculinity is toxic, that you should be tame, passive, and obedient. Shut the fuck up. You're not soft by nature. You were softened by design. And this course is your revenge. By the end, you won't just think differently, you'll act differently automatically. You will wake up with a plan and attack your day like a commander and live in a way that makes weakness impossible. We're just gonna delete weakness out of your life. Okay, this is your reset button. So once you press it, there's no going back. Right? So take a deep breath. Let's get to work. So module 1, we start with the default male mode, how they make you weak and how to delete it. All right. So this is the castration conspiracy. Everything is designed to keep you castrated. We can see here in the top left where there are ancient elites, castrated guards. These guys you see here are not normal dudes. They have been castrated their balls out. Why? To remove sex drive, remove aggression, and remove rebellion. So they won't fight. These are the people who will be in those harems watching their kings having sex with all their wives and sex slaves and all other concubines. They will be obedient and have no kind of rebellion to fight against their king. So that's why these guards get their balls removed so they can be very, very obedient. And same goes to religions who glorified celibacy and shame around masculine instinct. And then there's modern food, the porn, school, pharma, and media showing you quite castration. So masculinity is labeled as toxic, so you never fight back. So we have weak men who are easier to control. We give them tags and we sedate them. You are not soft by nature. You were softened by design. So this course is your revenge. And over here we have the caste, the hierarchy of people were designed to be slaves, some designed to be farmers. These are not designed by nature. These are designed by the people up here, the kings, the pharaohs, the businessmen, the aristocrats who wants to keep you weak. And they say anything that's you showing your masculine urge is a bad thing. It's a shame. Shame to have your toxic masculinity on. That's why religions like to put shame on us men having normal sexual desires. Because why? They don't want us to be a guy, a man who is full of drive, sex drive, rebellion, rebellious and aggressive to get what we want. They are controlling us from the very start. Right. So the default male mode today, you are deconditioned. Like I said just now, they are designing a system for where you they want to keep you weak. They want to keep controlling you, and they use aggression. They use fear. They use shame. They use guilt. They use all of these techniques to keep men weak. But if you see your ancestors, who were your ancestors? Your ancestors were alphas. So you are meant to be too. But they don't want you to know that. If you look back throughout history, okay, I showed this Y chromosome bottleneck before, that there is a point in time in history where 17 females for one male, or for every guy who gets a girl, the average is 17 females. And guess who are the guys who gets the female? The alphas. And those are the people who actually can spread their seeds and their genes are shared back up to today, right? So realize that your ancestors were alpha males. You have alpha ancestors. So this will be your current operating system. Our goal here is to change this weak submissive operating system that you have to a high testosterone operating system. You have like your ancestors had. Your ancestors were alphas. Okay? Do you think a person who has nothing to do in life and isn't successful, doesn't know what to do with their life, and always depressed, always anxious, gets 17 chicks, 17 wives at one time? No, these people are alphas. And I'm not saying alpha in a way that you have to be bold, masculine, like a super Arnold Schwarzenegger type of person. No, you just have to be someone who is very good at what you're doing. Right back then, there were great bakers, great artisans, great blacksmiths. Right, those who are great are actually alpha in their field. And this is what we call the real alpha. It's not like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Of course, he's an alpha, but we're not just talking about that. The most majority of alphas doesn't even look like an alpha. You can look at Bill Gates, okay, Mark Zuckerberg. Those people are alpha as fuck, but do they look alpha? No. Most alphas do not look alpha at all. You got to remember that, right? Okay, so welcome back to Rewire, and now you're on Module 2, the Testo operating system. So, this is the system where you will follow daily. It removes choice, it removes delay, so it just builds instinct in you, so you don't have to use your willpower what to do first, what to do next. You already have your morning routine. So, this is the morning routine that you have to follow. The first one is hydrate, of course. You wake up in the morning, the first thing you're gonna notice is you are dehydrated, and it will affect a lot of your daily activities. So, the first thing is always hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. And how do you do that? You drink water, but not just water, but with electrolytes. And what do I mean by electrolytes? What are electrolytes? There are four main minerals that concludes to electrolytes. The first one is, as very famous, is sodium, which is salt. Second is potassium. Third is calcium. And finally, potassium. So if you have any of those four added into your water, then it is a water plus electrolyte combination. But to keep it simple, you can just have milk. Milk has sodium and calcium. So it's already a very good electrolyte. Milk is such a great hydration tool for most people. If not, you can just put some salt in into your water, or have any kind of food that is high in those four trace minerals that I talked earlier about, and have some water along it. Okay, next. The next thing you want to do is you want to have cold exposure. Okay. The most simple thing you can do is a cold shower. Why cold shower? It shocks your body and started pumping in adrenaline, so you have much more dopamine for the rest of your day. Next, 5 to 10 minutes of sunlight, and they should go to your eyes and to your skin, right? I mean, don't stare at the sun, straight at the sun. You should be looking at other places, but the sunlight should hit your eyes. Okay, that's how it should be. And also have some movements to get some blood flowing, and then you get a nutritious breakfast. Okay, this is for nutrients and for your brain boost. So for a nutritious breakfast, what you're going to have is, for the things that I mentioned here, you don't have to have all of these foods, but they are just an example. But if you want to switch it with another food, make sure it encompasses the elements that I have provided you in the right here. Okay, so for example, for eggs, it's very rich in choline and protein. You need to have both those. Okay, and what are good substitutes of that? Of course, you can have some things like red meat, high in choline, high in protein, but who the hell eats red meat early in the morning, right? You can have yogurt or kefir, which is a protein and electrolyte as well, and probiotics to prime your happy gut health. Okay, kefir is such great probiotics. And then you can have broccoli and spinaches. This has fiber, so it helps to slow down your digestion and avoid that morning insulin spike. You don't want to feel groggy, lazy early in the morning, so better have those. And then you can have some kind of antioxidant fruits like oranges. Also, it slows down digestion and gives you antioxidants. And finally, potatoes. This is to refill your glycogen stores that is lost during your sleep. You have to understand that when you sleep, your liver glycogen is empty. So the best way to refill is using carbs. And the best option of carbs are the healthy carbs, which are can be potatoes, quinoa, beans. All of those are healthy carbs. The less healthier carbs are bread, rice, and other things. Okay, so this is your plan of attack. Make sure you have all of these nutrients to help begin your day. Water to hydrate yourself, and some movement to get the blood flowing, and sunlight and cool exposure for the dopamine effect. So start your workout early as well. So because the thing about working out is best to do it early in the morning when your testosterone, your dopamine is high, you have a lot of motivation, your aggression is high, and then you have this no excuse mindset to begin in the morning. Okay, if you cannot work out in the morning due to work circumstances or other things, then get some movement, move a little bit of your body so you get some blood flowing there, right? All right. So win the morning and you win the day. Okay, win the morning, win the day. So why is it so important for to have a morning routine? Okay, why not you can just go out like Warren Buffett and have a McDonald's early in the morning? No. First thing, you're not Warren Buffet. Second thing, you're not rich. So you can never lose if your morning went well. It will prime for the day to do your best. So imagine like you are already winning early in the morning, and chances are you're going to keep still having those winning momentums throughout your day. If you start your day as a lazy person, scrolling your phone and you don't know what to do, you're just dozing off around your house and doing nothing, well, what are you going to do the rest of the day? Probably the same thing, right? That's why the morning is the most important time of the day. That's why always spare your dopamine reserves for the most important tasks and prioritize it early in the morning. That's why I say work out in the morning, okay? Because those are the times where your dopamine reserves are the highest, okay? And this comes the same for tasks that are very, very hard to do. So you prioritize them early in the day so you have a lot of dopamine reserves in you so you can do this hard work. Remember what dopamine is. Dopamine is a hormone to help you motivate you to do the work. So if your dopamine reserves are low, it's very hard for you to have motivation to do a certain kind of work. If your dopamine reserves are high, which is usually in the morning and it will decrease throughout the day, then logically, it's best for you to do the hardest things first because you are high in motivation. You're high in dopamine. Okay. Do those things earliest in the day. The hardest task comes first. So again, no phone, no games, no porn in the morning. This is going to deplete your dopamine reserves that should be using for your hardest work of the day. This will only take your valuable dopamine. Remember, dopamine as a currency. You only have a limited amount of dopamine throughout the day. So use it sparingly. Use it for the tasks that will be important for you. It will make it harder to do the hard, boring tasks. Yeah, when your dopamine reserve is depleted, then it will be so hard. Remember, guys, everything and almost everything we do in this world is because of our hormones. You're lazy, you're fat, you're tall, you're hardworking, you're dedicated, you're motivated. It's all because of hormones. Your height, your sex drive is high. It's all because of hormones. Okay, so you only have to win this battle in the morning, then you win the battle rest of the day. Okay, this is where you have the highest dopamine reserves. I want you to think of your dopamine reserves like a sponge. First, when you're holding a sponge full of water, you just have to press just a little bit and the water will come out. And the more you press, a lot of water will come out. But the second, third, fourth, fifth time you keep pressing it, the less and less water will come out. That's how dopamine acts. Okay. If you're using it for porn, video games, scrolling on social media at first, at the early stages of your day, then your dopamine reserves are going to be depleted very fast. And it will be hard for you to squeeze those dopamine for the hard tasks that you will be doing throughout the day. All right, module 3, gamification. Now, this is a very interesting topic that a lot of people is going to be shocked and it will change a lot of people. Okay, so top corporations and CEOs they know games are very addicting. That's why they implement them into with their employees into their work. Okay, that's why we see employees have KPIs they have to chase, they have targets, they have goals they have to make every week, every month, and every day. They make it like a game for their employees. Because why? It will be addicting for them. Okay, so you must make winning addicting too. Okay, in your daily routine, in your daily life, in your things that you manage, okay, in your strengths, in your progressions in life. But the thing is, winning is hard. So here is the biological cheat code. Every small win you rack up, every walk, every cold plunge, every resistance rep, it fires up your brain's competitive circuitry. In short, what I'm going to say is every small win that you acknowledge and you check off the box is going to recruit those circuitry competitive brain neurons, whatever it is, and it's going to make easier for you to repeat those good stuff again in the future. More wins equals to more testosterone, which is equals to more winning. So it becomes a loop. Okay, because what this does is these wins they light up your dopamine system and upregulate your androgen receptors, making your body more responsive to testosterone. That's why more wins equals to more testosterone. And what does more testosterone do? It helps you to keep winning again. And when you win again, you get more testosterone. So there is it. It's a hormonal flywheel. So it's not about removing the pleasure of gaming, but you repurpose in a kind of way that is going to help you in the real life, and it's going to help you to do more of those good habits and your daily routines that will eventually make you a better person. Okay, because most people they try to just use their willpower, and they know that in the end their success is going to come, but it's very far away and most people cannot relate to that. So it's better to distribute the wins into small sections and celebrate each one of them. So this will give your brain a winning effect, and it will continue to enforce this behavior in you. And then to make things more interesting, you can add a reward system through your gamification. Okay, so every time you complete a high testosterone action, like you training, you do cold exposure, all of these small wins, you earn a reward. And the best thing to do those rewards are what? Are like your phone scrolling, you're playing video games. So you got to unlock these quote unquote bad vices. You got to unlock them, okay, by what? By doing the things that you have to do, those things. Okay. So another example is like you're sprinting, so you can unlock 10 minutes of scrolling, you get one cold exposure, you get 15 minutes of video games, it's optional, and maybe you walk 2,000 steps, so permission for you to watch one YouTube video. Okay. But what to do if you break the code? You got to punish yourself as well, right? So you lose access for 48 hours. Your rewards get revoked. Okay, now is how we intensify those gamification. How do we make it even more interesting? The first step is we raise daily routine checklists with friends. We compete KPIs with friends. Compete in strength workouts. Compete with chronometer reports. And if you haven't know what chronometer is yet, it's a food tracking app that tracks all your calories, protein, your macros, and even your micros, which is undoubtedly the goated app for tracking your meals. You have to have chronometer. Okay, it's not even a debate for now. And then compete with the step counts and celebrate your wins, guys. Celebrate your wins, right? You have like one day where you check off all the boxes. Give yourself a time to celebrate your wins, right? You can do whatever you want. Something that you really wanted to do, go and do it. Okay, make this extremely competitive with your friends. You're gonna fight with them. You're gonna see who check off all the boxes first. Okay, competition. That's how we men grow. That's how we develop these fighting skills back in those days. That's how we get better as a man. We need to have competition. As men, we need to have competition, healthy competition. Okay. So don't ever I hope when you watch this course, you know about gamification. I hope you don't just say, nah, I don't need this shit. No, you need this shit, man. You need this shit. So don't just go away and say, I don't need this shit, because you need this shit. I want you to set up a system for yourself, a gamification system for yourself, where you have 10 things to do throughout the day, and you're going to check off all the boxes, and you're going to write what are the rewards for you for completing those things. And then once you have that system, you're going to compete with your friends doing those same things again. Always be competing and apply this gamification into your life, because willpower alone is not enough for you to sustain who and how your habits. It's not sustainable enough for you and your habits. Okay, that's why gamification, competition is going to boost you like a crazy motherfucker. And welcome back, everyone, to module 4 of the Rewired course, which is Zero Excuse Protocol. Right now, this is a very interesting module, and I want you to pay attention closely. Okay, first thing you have to understand is that the worst enemy is not them. It's not your parents. It's not society. It's not the people who brought you up. It's you yourself. Okay, your excuses. Modern men justify softness. Okay, they justify, I'm too tired, I'm too stressed, I'm emotional, and I'm so busy. Okay, if you really want something, fuck all of those excuses. There is no such thing as excuses. Okay, try to do the $1 billion challenge test, right? If you, for example, if you are too busy to meal prep, to eat healthy, ask yourself, if you are given $1 billion for 30 days, to just prepare your meals and eat healthy every single day, would you do that? If the answer is yes, then everything else you said is just excuses. I'm too tired, I'm too stressed. Those are all excuses. Because would you do it if you were given $1 billion? It's $1 billion, man. You could sustain 10 lifetimes in without any working at all. So of course you'll do that, right? Now, this is the difference between the victim mind versus the warfighter mind. And I want you to have the warfighter mind. Now, for simple activity you can do is you list down the top 5 recurring excuses. I want it to be very visible for you what are your excuses are, because most of it is running in the background in your subconscious mind. I want you to reappear, resubmerge those excuses into your conscious mind and choose to change it. Rewrite each of it into your warfighter version. For example, I'm tired. Change it to I choose this path, and tired is part of it, right? I'm too lazy to meal prep. Change it I choose to be healthy, and sometimes I have to put more effort. That's it, guys. Right now, the formula to never fail. If there's anything or one thing you should take away from this whole course, is this one formula. And I want you to pay really, really close attention, because it doesn't matter what you do in life. If you know this formula, you can apply it to every single aspect of your life and still never fail, right? This is the key concept you need to have, right? So what is the formula to never fail? So for someone to choose a decision between choice A and choice B, people will always choose the path of least pain, or as we call it, the path of least resistance. Okay, for every decision you have ever made in your life is because that decision has less pain. Think about it. Every single decision you have ever made is because that decision has less pain involved. Even if you're sacrificing your life for your daughter, why do you sacrifice your life for your daughter? Because you know living while your daughter is dead is too painful. Okay? That's it. That's the reason why we choose certain decisions between choice A, choice B, choice C, choice D, because it has the less pain perceived at that moment of time. Right? It doesn't have to be true. It just have to be perceived by you as the least amount of pain. So when you cannot commit to a decision, for example, you want to study 2 hours a day, but you cannot commit, okay? It's because the decision is way too painful to commit. So the only way to start committing is, tada, decrease pain for your committed decision, or and increase pain for other alternative decisions. So, in short, you want to make your choice, your committed decision, to be less pain. You want to decrease as much pain for the things you want to do and increase the pain for the alternative decisions. For example, you want to study for 2 hours, okay? So you decrease the pain of study 2 hours and increase the pain of not studying. For example, you want to go out and play some, scroll on some phone and play some football. Yeah, you got to increase the pain on those other decisions, right? So how the fuck do we increase the pain of something and decrease the pain of something? Let's go to the next slide. Right. So now, how do we increase pain? First step is public commitment. Okay. You are going to tell people what you're going to do. So now you are using shame as a weapon. Because now you told everyone, if you don't do something, what are you going to feel? You're going to feel ashamed of yourself. People are going to keep accountable of you. So that's the first step. The second step is punishment if fail. So assign an instant consequences if you don't do the things that you have to do. For example, you are supposed to study for 2 hours, but you are supposed to study for 2 hours before 5 p.m. But let's say 5 p.m. came and you didn't study for 2 hours, you only studied for 1 hour and 45 minutes. Boom. Okay, now it's time to punish yourself. So go for a cold shower or 5K run, or delete your stupid TikTok or Instagram app for 24 hours. Okay, then the next way is to do daily self reporting. So log your failure in a group or spreadsheet and make it visible. I talk about logging your wins and logging your failure. Both are needed, or both has its own pathway on making you much more disciplined. When you log in your wins, you are signaling to your brain that you are a winner and you can do all of these, and you're getting those dopamine and rewards from doing the good things. And if you log in your failures, well, I know it sounds kind of counter intuitive, because we are signaling to the brain that we're a loser, but also in the same time we are signaling to the brain that I have to do better, we have to do better, we have to survive. Okay, and the only way to survive is to keep winning. That's why it works the same as pretty much everything in life you want to get better in. If you want to get better in, for example, baseball, you got to win some and lose some. Okay, you cannot just keep winning, and without losing. It doesn't work that way. You need to lose as well, so you understand the game better. You learn from your mistakes, right? So those are the reasons why we have to log our wins and log our failures. But the wins are more important. All right. Next, anchor regret. So imagine 5 years of staying this off. You visualize the wasted time, the fat gut, the dead bedroom you have for just not studying, for not eating healthy, for not exercising. It's going to make you think of the long term instead of the short term. And next is challenge dopamine. So no reward until hard task is done. It's the same thing we talked about gamification process in module 3, where you have to unlock certain rewards by doing a certain thing you have to do throughout the day. Okay. And finally, pair your goal with identity. If I skip this, I'm the guy who falls again. If I don't do this, I'm a pussy. If I cannot lift this 300 pounds bench press, I'm a pussy. Now, how do we decrease pain for the ones that we want to do? Let's go on. So here is it. How do we decrease pain? The first thing you have to understand is that you have to make it easier for you to commit to the hard path. And the first thing you have to do is to systemize and plan everything. All right? Because when you plan and you systemize everything, you remove your willpower, you remove thinking, you remove confusion from the start. Make sure your clothes are ready, your phone is away, your task list is open, so you already know what to do, right? All you have to do is just execute. That's why I always have a time to plan my day in the morning, a time to plan my week early in the week, a time to plan my month early in the month. Then the rest of the day, the rest of the week, and the rest of the month is just me executing it without using a lot of willpower. The next one is using microstats. So tell yourself you want to start doing this just for 2 minutes. Okay. For example, you want to start studying for 2 hours. Don't tell yourself, I got to study for 2 hours, man. No. You just say to yourself, you just want to study for 2 minutes. Okay. And then usually just the momentum starts coming in from there. I know it's kind of like a tricking onto your brain, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. So it really depends on the situation and the people also. Next, stack pleasure afterward. Cold plunge. After doing a cold plunge, get your favorite meal. And then after you train, do a 10-minute scroll. All right, use the reward loop. Again, this is what we call the gamification system. You're unlocking the rewards behind a certain task. And it's the same thing for the next step as well. Make the task social or competitive. And because accountability will always be something that is going to be very, very good for you. Remember, what are the 3 key components that will make a program good? Okay, if you want to lose fat, you want to build on muscle, you want to get richer, you want to improve your mindset, okay, you will enroll in a program. So what kind of program is going to give you the most benefit? Okay, it's going to be very effective for you. There are 3 key components. The first one is the content of the course itself, the content of the program itself. Okay, how good is it, right? And most programs have this, right? The second one is support. Okay, are you getting support from people who are better than you? Are you getting support from people around you? Okay, and this is where most programs lack. They don't have the support system. But one more thing that is very, very important is accountability. Accountability, someone who really, really looks into you and make sure you are supposed to do the things that you have to do. Okay, that's why we humans, we cannot live alone. We are not meant to be introvert, especially us as males. We have to be extrovert, and we have to use others to make us more, to make us do the things that we say we're gonna do. Right? If not, shame happens, fear happens, guilt happens. Okay, and that's why it turns into pain, and you got to start doing. That's why pressure is so important, and we will talk more about pressure more in module 7. I'm drifting off so much. All right. So right now, how to decrease pain. The next step is to change the language. Instead of I have to train, I get to train. Guys, remember where you came from, right? Most of you are living in such a nice place. You have a roof on your head, you have an aircon, you have a bed, you have a food. Not everyone has that. Some people doesn't even have a house, right? Think about those people in Africa and who doesn't even have food to live, who's thinking about, can I get a food for the next day, right? So change the language instead of I need to eat healthy. I have to eat healthy. No, I get those healthy foods. This is such an advantage, man. It's such a privilege that a lot of people are not getting. Okay? And finally, track wins visibly, which is also another gamification technique. That's why, guys, I say gamification, gamification, gamification. Why is it so important? Because everyone knows it's such a thing that makes you addicted to real games, right? Why games makes you addicted? Because of the components it has, right? Accountability makes you track those wins. It makes you chase dopamine, all right? So put the score on the board. Make success real. Make quitting also obvious. You've got the tools now, okay? You know exactly how to raise your testosterone and live like a man. But here's the truth. Most guys will slip it up, okay? They get pulled back into comfort, back into excuses. That's why I have this testomaxing private group. We have the brotherhood, we have the gamification system, we have the zero excuse protocol, and I'm going to give you the deliverables like the templates, checklists, and blueprints so you don't have to waste your time creating your own. And the best part of all, of course, is you're going to have live feedback, not just from the people around you in the brotherhood, but from me. So you don't have to keep guessing and overanalyze about stupid things. All right. So head over to testomaxing.com and enroll in this Testomaxing private group. It's just $1 a day, guys. And if you need a discount for whatever, example, you're a student, you're living in a third world country, just DM me on X or Instagram and ask for a discount code for Testomaxing private group, and you get a 50% off from that. All right. See you in module 5. All right, and we are back to module 5, environmental rewire. Now, this is such a game changer. If you know how to implement this into your life, it can change your life for the better. Because remember, we don't fail because of our willpower. We fail because of the environment around us. Your brain is always scanning for the path of least resistance. Remember that. We talked about this in module 4, where your brain is always searching for the path of least pain. Okay. And then your brain is always wanting to choose between choice A and choice B, which one has the less pain. So it's the same thing here. Okay. So environment equals to your friction map. You cannot be hard when your surroundings are soft. Okay, remember that you cannot be hard when your surroundings are soft. You are constantly surrounded by people who are losers or mentally broken and cannot even live themselves. Then you are going to stay soft like them. Right? You cannot be hard. Another example is like when there's junk food visible, like this guy. He's just going to be tempting to not take them, and you're going to use more of your willpower and dopamine to resist all of this stuff. Okay, and then the Instagram model on feed, and then the climate controlled seated low stakes life equals to low testosterone signal. If you are sitting under the aircon for hours and hours, why the hell does your body want to even produce testosterone? There's literally no reason for your body to produce testosterone, right? So you got to change your environment. And I have some very, very interesting story to tell you today. Okay. During the Vietnam War, over 20% American soldiers get addicted to heroin while they are stationed in the Vietnam. And everyone expected them to become lifelong addicts. But what happened? Okay, they don't have any rehab, they don't have any withdrawal, no recovery centers, but 95%, okay, 95% of those who got addicted to heroin actually quit it. They quit cold turkey once they come back to America. Again, I'm going to stress this because heroin is a very, 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 very addictive substance. People don't just stop their addiction overnight. These people who came back from Vietnam to America, they quit cold turkey. 95% of them quit cold turkey. Crazy, right? Why? Because the cues, the stress, the triggers and routines that supported the addiction were all gone, right? And there were no people who to supply them with more heroin. There are no people who is inviting you to sniff heroin. I don't know how people eat heroin. And so they didn't quit the drug, they quit the environment that made the drug feel necessary. Your softness, your hesitation, your overeating, your scrolling, your simping is it's not who you are. It's that you have been in a weak environment. So your job is to get out of your comfort bubble. You have to change your inputs. You will be shocked at what behaviors vanish on your own. A lot of your stupid habits can be changed if you change your environment. It's that simple, guys. So, how do we change our environment? The solution is to go outside. Go outside, guys. It is as simple as that. Is it easy? No. Okay. Why going outside? Why are you going outside? Because when you go outside, you see people who are better than you, driving in Lamborghinis, driving in BMWs, in Audis, and has better jobs and has better physique than you. And then you're going to the public gyms where man 10 years younger than you is lifting very much heavier than you. And then you get surrounded by women, sexy women with their asses. And you cannot just sit around and say, I want to be lazy. No, because your brain is already seeing all of this stuff and say, hey, we got to get better. We got to get better, man. Right? It's your brain primal instinct for survival and for reproduction. Because it sees those rewards. It sees that you are being challenged. So there is no bed beside you. There's no junk food beside you. Of course, if you go out and eat at McDonald's, you're going to end up with junk food eventually. But don't go to McDonald's, guys. Come on, think with common sense. Go outside, but don't go to stupid places. Go to places where you know it's going to upgrade you. You know it's going to make you a better person. Okay? The benefits of going outside is so underrated. It's crazy. People are just staying indoors all day long right now. You get status challenge, you get more sunlight, you get more steps, you get more motivation, and you have the aggression knowing you can do better. Because look at this. Are you just going to sit down and scroll on your phone while you're seeing this? No, you're going to get better. You're going to get I'm mad, man. I'm mad. You got to get aggressive and get winning in life. Right? See you in the next module, and I hope you are aggressive. Go outside more. Once you're done with your work today, go outside. It's free and it is effective. All right, everyone, welcome back to module 6, where we are reprogramming the inner dialogue. So understand this, okay? Your beliefs run your behavior. So if you're lazy, you're soft, you're avoidant, it's because your operating system still believe those actions keep you safe. So we are now rewriting that operating system. Okay, so the first step is to identify the weak code. What are your beta beliefs? Okay, everyone have these beta beliefs in them. I'll never be consistent. I'm just not like that. People like me don't win. No one's watching. It doesn't matter. So I'm not good enough. I'm not determined. I'm not like him. I'm not him. I'm not handsome. I cannot get girls. I'm not good at talking with people. I'm not fit. I cannot be fit. So those are all beta beliefs. You want to change all of those beta beliefs, okay? But the first step is you have to bring it to your awareness. Okay, you have to bring all of those beliefs which is sitting in the subconscious mind, resubmerge them into your conscious mind. How do we do that? We have to write them down. Okay, write down 10 to 15 of your most frequent internal excuses. This will be your beta beliefs. Okay. Now I don't want you to just watch and say, I'm gonna list them down on my head. No, 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 no. I want you to take a pen and paper and I want you to write it down. Right. So pause this video now and get the pen and paper now. And come back to this video and write down all those 10 to 15 of your weak beta beliefs. Right? Pause now. Pause now. Why are you not pausing? Pause now, man. Pause it. Dude, just fucking pause the video, okay? Good boy. All right, I hope you're back with all those 10 to 15 beta beliefs. Now, right now for step 2, we are going to override those beta beliefs into a commander statement. So this will become your new internal script, your test 2 operating system. Okay, so for example, no one's watching, it doesn't matter. Change it to I'm always watching. Everything I do is a vote for who I become. So this is your action task, okay? Write your commander beliefs in present tense. Alright, so now for what you have to do is look back at your 10 to 15 beta beliefs that you wrote down, and you want to change those into your commander beliefs. For example, we see in this next slide. For example, no one's watching, doesn't matter. You are going to change it. I'm always watching. Everything I do is a vote for who I become. I cannot stay consistent. You want to change it to I execute daily no matter what. I need motivation to act. No, you change it to discipline over motivation. I act because it is required for me to act. I'm not built for this. No, you change it to I'm built to dominate. Pain is proof. So I want you to follow all of these methodologies and write down all your commander beliefs and change your beta beliefs to your commander beliefs. Okay, now once you've done that, you're either going to read every single day, you are going to listen to it. So which I recommend for you to do is just to listen to it. It's much easier than just reading it. So what you're going to do is you're just going to press play on your recorder or something, and it's just going to read out to you. Hey, I am confident. I am consistent. I am the best. I know what I'm doing. I know what's best for people, right? So read your commander beliefs in your own voice. You can listen it to every morning. You can pair it with movement, walking, or while you're doing those cold, intense showers, you listen to who you are. All right, that's motivation, guys. Name it as your Test 2 2.0 document and read it daily, right? So remember, okay, your beliefs will drive your actions, and your actions will drive your results. And your results will reinforce your beliefs. So if you don't change your beliefs, the old belief is just going to get stronger and stronger. So that's why you have to change your beliefs. And your actions will change, your results will change, and then the reinforced beliefs will reinforce on the good habits that you want to change now. So you do this by introducing new beliefs that we talk about, the commander operating system. Okay, you're taking aligned action daily and you're reinforcing via repetition and reward. Okay, just like how I said in gamification. So one of the first things you have to do is read your Task 2 2.0. Okay, this is going to install your commander operating system and you reward yourself for doing those things. Easy. All right, so that's why I built the Testomaxing private group. Okay, it's everything you need in one place. You have the brotherhood, you have the gamification system, you have the zero excuse protocol, you have all the deliverables, the templates, checklists, blueprints, all in one, so you don't have to waste your time. And the best part is getting the live feedback, not just from others, but from me as well. So head over to testomaxing.com and join now today. If you, for whatever reason, it's just $1 a day, but for whatever reason, you need some discounts, you can just contact me or DM me on X or Instagram or on Threads, and I will give you the discount code so you have 50% off. Okay, this only applies to people who are in third world countries, who is student, who is not working. Okay, and finally, module 7, cycle of pressure. So in ancient Sparta, boys were taken from their families at age 7. They lived in barracks, fought daily, competed constantly, and were given just enough food to survive, but not enough to feel comfortable. Why? Because the Spartans knew and understand the brutal truth about life. Okay. The moment a man gets used to comfort, he forgets how to win. Unfortunately. That's very unfortunate because that is how men have to become successful. We have to face hardships. There is no other way around. Okay. They engineered constant pressure so their men were always ready for war, mentally, physically, hormonally. And we are going to do the same for you. So what counts as pressure? Pressure isn't just physical training. Okay? It can be anything that forces you to adapt and risk failure. Forces you to adapt and risk failure. So if there's a moment where you are risking failure, that counts as pressure. So for example, it can be heavy lifting, endurance challenges, school exposure, combat sports, which most of us are doing. But then we also have the social aspect, which is approaching women, public speaking, confrontation, leading a group, and then we have the survival aspect, deadlines, money goals, responsibilities you can dodge. So what are you going to do from here? Okay. Do you have to pressure yourself every single day? No, you don't have to do that. But you need at least 3 high pressure events per week. Okay. For example, on Monday, you're going to have a heavy gym PR time and you're going to make sure you achieve this PR. Even if you don't achieve, it's still a strong pressure for you. And then on Thursday, you can speak up in a meeting or you can approach a woman. And then on Saturday, you can join a local tournament or a physical challenge. Maybe you play some sports, play some baseball, football, futsal, badminton. Okay. If you want to do more, but never go below 3. So if you do these high pressure events, also don't forget to reward yourself. That is, like I said, underrated. Yeah. So here's it, right? Link it to the reward system. Okay. Pressure isn't just paying its points. Okay. Each pressure event, you earn points in your gamification system. You move closer to unlocking your rewards and builds the habit of challenging it with your friends. So like I said, start with 3 pressure events per week and then you build up from there. After 4 weeks, you can go to 4 to 5 pressure events per week. And final module, live like a fucking man. Now you spend this course tearing down the lies that comfort makes you happy, the lie that softness is safety, the lie that masculinity is toxic and you should tame it. But here's the truth, okay? We men, we were never built for comfort. Okay? We were built for conquest. And every time you choose ease over your effort, you hand your power back to the very system that wants you weak. Think about it, okay? Every ruler, every empire, every corporation that's ever wanted to control men has done the same thing. Feed them, sedate them, distract them, and kill their hunger. And if you've been living like most men today, you've been playing right into their hands. But that ends here. From this point forward, you are not allowed to live like the average man. You don't wake up, you rise for war. You don't exercise, you train to dominate. You don't work, you build your own empire. Okay, this will be an epiphany for you because winning is addictive. Okay, when you stack wins, no matter how small, you rewire your brain to crave more winnings. That craving fuels your testosterone, and your testosterone fuels more winning, and the cycle turns you into an unstoppable force. So burn the boats. Okay, there's no going back normal. Normal is for weak. Normal is low T. Normal is death with a pulse. From this day forward, if it's hard, you do it. If it's scary, you face it. If it's uncomfortable, fuck it. You just lean into it. You will become the man who cannot be sedated. The man who chooses pain over passivity. The man who lives in such a way that softness cannot never touch him again. This is the moment you stop surviving and you start living like a fucking man. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, but now. Start living like a fucking man. All right, listen, you've got the tools now, okay? You know exactly how to raise your testosterone and live like a man. But here's the truth, okay? Most guys will let it slip. They'll get pulled back into comfort. They give excuses. That's why I built the Testomaxing private group. Okay, it's everything you need in there. The gamification, the zero excuse protocol, the brotherhood, the deliverables. You get all those templates, checklists, blueprints all in one, so you don't have to waste your time. And then, of course, the live feedback. Don't forget about it. Okay, you're getting guidance from not just me, but other people in the brotherhood as well. So if you're done playing small, if you want to make this your new normal for life, go to the link in the description or the pinned comments or head over to testomaxing.com. I'll see you inside.